All right, today we're taking a trip, a journey really, to the ancient city of Varanasi. Right on the banks of the river Ganges, we're going to explore one of the most revered sites in all of India, the Kashi Vishwanath temple. So, let's dive right in.
So the temple is dedicated to a specific form of Lord Shiva, known as Vishwanath. And that name, it tells you so much right from the get-go. It translates to Lord of the Universe. Just think about that. It immediately sets the stage for just how important this place is.
And that really brings us to the big question we're tackling here. How does one temple become the spiritual heart of an entire nation? You know, a nation of over 1 billion people. Well, to get to the bottom of that, we've got to look at its story, its rituals, and its deep, deep roots in Indian culture.
Okay, so let's start our journey by looking at why this city, Kashi, is thought of as the eternal home of Lord Shiva. This belief is pretty much the bedrock of the temple's incredible status.
You see, according to foundational Hindu mythology, Kashi, which is the ancient name for Varanasi, isn't just any old city. Not at all. It's believed to be the personal home of Shiva himself, a place he promised would always be sacred, always protected. And that belief, it completely transforms the city from just a spot on a map into this timeless, spiritual sanctuary.
But you know, the temple's actual physical history, it's been anything but peaceful. It's this incredibly dramatic story of destruction and then just unbelievable resilience. A cycle of being torn down and then rising again, which has only made it even more important. It's an amazing story. Let's get into it.
So, this timeline really boils down millennia of history into 3 huge moments. We know people have been worshipping here for well over 1,000 years. But then, 1669, that was a major turning point. The temple was demolished by the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb. But faith, as it often does, proved to be incredibly resilient. Fast forward over a century to 1780, and it's magnificently rebuilt by the Maratha ruler Maharani Ahilyabai Holkar. What a testament to its enduring power, right?
And here are the 2 key players in this whole historical drama. On one hand, you have Aurangzeb, who, after the demolition, built the Gyanvapi Mosque right next to the sacred site. And then on the other hand, you have Maharani Ahilyabai Holkar. She was this devout queen whose support didn't just put up a new building, no, she restored a vital center of faith for millions. I mean, that's an act of huge cultural and religious importance.
And you can literally see the result of this history today. The Gyanvapi Mosque is still standing right next to the temple. It's a permanent, physical reminder of this really complex past. And for devotees, it's also a powerful symbol of the temple's ultimate resilience.
Okay, so we've looked at its turbulent history. Now let's step inside the temple as it is today. It's a vibrant, living center of devotion that pulls in pilgrims from all over the world.
Let's break down some of the key features. First off, you can't miss its stunning gold-plated spire. It just glitters above the whole city. Then, at its very heart, you have the Garbhagriha, that's the Sanctum Sanctorum, this deeply sacred space that houses the Shiva Lingam, the symbol of Lord Vishwanath. And also, inside the complex, there's the Gyanvapi well. The belief is that this is where the original lingam was hidden for safekeeping during the demolition, which is just an incredible story of preserving its sanctity.
So, the spiritual life of the temple really revolves around a bunch of daily rituals. And the main one, the most central one, is called Abhishekam. What is it? It's the sacred, ceremonial bathing of the Shiva Lingam. It's a pure act of reverence and devotion.
This ritual unfolds in 3 really beautiful steps. First up, there's the holy bathing, using sacred water brought straight from the Ganges. After that, divine offerings like milk and honey are poured over the lingam. And finally, it's adorned with things from nature, bilva leaves, flowers, and fruits. And that completes the whole act of worship.
Now, the devotional energy at the temple isn't always the same. It definitely ebbs and flows, peaking at certain times. The biggest festival of the year is Mahashivratri. That's an all-night celebration for the sacred union of Shiva and Parvati. Then, during the monsoon month of Shravan, Mondays become super important, and you see a massive wave of pilgrims. And of course, there's the constant energy from the daily arti, both morning and evening, those beautiful lamp-lighting ceremonies.
So, what does all this add up to? In our last section here, let's connect all the dots. Let's really get why this temple isn't just an important building, but why it's truly the cultural and spiritual heart of Varanasi.
So why is Kashi Vishwanath such a pillar of the Hindu faith? Well, for starters, it's one of only 12 sacred Jyotirlingas in India. Now, these are places where it's believed Shiva appeared as a fiery column of light,
So you can imagine that makes them incredibly powerful centers for worship. Because of this, it's a massive pilgrimage site, drawing hundreds of thousands of people every single year. The temple also perfectly blends its worship with rituals on the Ganges. And its influence? It shapes the whole fabric of Varanasi, from its famous classical music all the way down to the daily rhythm of life.
And believe me, its location is no accident. Being right there on the banks of the sacred Ganges is absolutely fundamental to its identity. The river itself is a powerful symbol of purification. So for pilgrims, bathing in the Ganges before you even enter the temple, that's a crucial part of the whole spiritual journey. It's like washing away your sins before you meet the divine.
And all of this leads to the ultimate promise of Kashi, which is something called moksha. So what's moksha? In Hinduism, it's the final liberation from that endless cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. It is the ultimate spiritual goal. And the belief is that dying in Kashi, or even just worshipping sincerely at the Vishwanath temple, can grant you this release.
So, as we've seen, Kashi Vishwanath is just so much more than a beautiful building. It's a living, breathing testament to centuries of Indian history. It's a focal point for this unwavering faith, and it's a vibrant cultural heart that is still beating so strongly today.
And that leaves us with one last thing to think about. Through all the destruction, the rebirth, and centuries of continuous devotion, a place made of stone and gold has become something more. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? How does any physical place, a building, transcend what it's made of to become a living, breathing symbol of faith for millions of people? That's a pretty powerful idea to chew on. Thanks for joining us on this journey.